Research shows positive relationship between spirituality and workplace performance. Yet in today's politically correct culture, any display of faith on the job is considered inappropriate, discouraging any exchange of spiritual views in the marketplace. Well, we've called in a team of experts to discuss how ministry and marketplace can coexist in today's politically correct culture. Joining us on the panel is Cindy Scott. She is president and CEO of Choice Counsel, Inc. She is also founder of God, Women, and Work and co-founder of Work Life Ministry Pittsburgh. Carter Byerly, executive director of the Pittsburgh Experiment. Before that, his 30-year career was in investment and trust banking, starting on Wall Street, and he continued with renowned financial institutions. Pauline George is founder and president of PG Training and Consulting. She is an active member of the National Speakers Association and most recently has been involved in work-life ministry efforts. And the one and only Chad Hembry. He's our producer, an editor, camera operator here, jack of all trades at Cornerstone. But before that, he worked in LA's Dream Center, an inner city outreach and television production company. And Dee Dee Hayes, who we all know as the host of Focus 4 here on Cornerstone and the director of broadcast services. But before that, she was an entrepreneur, a business owner, and a pioneer in Christian education. So thank you all for being here with us. And one of the things that was modeled for us as Christians in the scriptures is Jesus was in the marketplace. That was the majority of his ministry. He was in the marketplace. Yet modern day believers, it seems like you're discouraged to express your faith at all, not just on the job, but in the marketplace. So as experts in the marketplace, are you finding that to be the case?
And I believe everything that's in the Word and don't tell me anything else. Well, if we're going to reach a generation, they want to know how you came to that conclusion. Absolutely. And you know, you don't have to go to college you don't have to get a college degree in apology to do that, but you better have some depth there in order to get it across.
And I could just think of a really good example of that. There was somebody who, there was somebody I know who were talking about, born again people. Okay, the born agains. And to be more exact, the born again, the reborns. And so, they're talking about this, and I said, well, do you really know where that came from? And they didn't. Yeah. And I'm like, wait, no, I knew. And so they didn't, really know what to say. And so I said, Jesus said, except a man be born again. This isn't something that the Christian group just conjured up and put on outdoor boards. Jesus said, except a man be born again, he won't enter the kingdom of heaven. So, that was like, wow, I didn't know. And so all of a sudden now they're looking at the reborns in a totally different light. You know what I'm saying? It's like all of a sudden now they're starting to see why, and so that changes the perspective a little bit. Translating for people, they see these phrases on outdoor boards and things, but you have to help them, understand where you're coming from, and that changes everything.
Mm-hmm. It's been really helpful for me, and
I remember just in our family, we have, all these people. I mean, you should see us around the table. Gee, we're all Christians, but we have all these different, opinions. And everybody is very opinionated. We enjoy that.
That's our family.
Yeah, we enjoy that. That's something we like to talk. We like to exchange opinions because it helps us when we're talking, like growing up and being around all of that. When we're in the marketplace now, we are able to express ourselves in a way that's meaningful to people. And so modeling that, even talking with your friends and exchanging opinions, we don't all always have to agree, with everything. We can all come from different points of view, but just hearing somebody else. And I think that's the listening part really is a big thing too. And you'd be surprised to know this, but what I'm learning is that I need to just shut my mouth and listen, and forget about pushing, listen to what somebody else has to say. And even if they don't agree with you, show them that you care about where they're coming from. And maybe you can come back with something that might make them think a little bit. But I think things that, when you're talking in conversation, with somebody who might be of a different religion. Instead of, they can see when the wall goes up with you. And when the wall goes up with you, the wall goes up with them.
We have a tendency to be very, very defensive at times.
Yes.
And then when we get defensive,
This is one of those topipics that, and maybe we will again in another episode. But I just thank all of you guys on the panel for
so
coming
much.
and sharing
It was
your
fun.
expertise. So it was a great show, and we thank you for tuning in to this edition of Focus 4 Next Generation, and tune in again for more on how to express your faith in the marketplace and how to be an effective witness for Christ. See you next time. We're standing here at Indian Lake Country Club, one of the sites where memorial services are being held today for families who lost loved ones, and so tragically on Tuesday in the United Flight number 93 that crashed in Somerset County. The security here is extremely tight, as you can imagine, out of respect for the families and their privacy and their need to take the time to grieve what has just happened to them in their lives. We are told that the American Red Cross has played an instrumental role in getting them through the grieving process and helping them not only deal with what they're feeling today, but what they will be feeling in the future. Family members have chosen a spokesperson to speak to the media on their behalf. Let's see what they have to say. Families are arriving at the site of the crash of United Flight 93 today to mourn the loss of their loved ones who died so tragically on Tuesday. You know, throughout the week we've been seeing all sorts of efforts from the American people pulling together to do whatever they can to provide some type of support, some relief to the rescue workers, to the families, to play their part, to do whatever they can. We've found a very heartwarming, inspirational story about what one family did to get through the grief and tragedy.